My colleague Thomas Varghese and I traveled to Armenia and Georgia in November to conduct a needs assessment, to learn more about its people, to learn more about its culture, to learn more about what the pressing needs are impacting the local churches there.
It was like, for me, this is the first time visit to these two countries.
Probably the first thing that I found compelling was the spectacular natural beauty of these countries that are squeezed between Russia and Turkey and Iran. They don't know quite what they are or where they are.
The capital city was typical European, but leaving the capital city, the time just stopped for me. The clock stopped. Their means are so reduced. They want to do, but they cannot do anything.
They've been in the middle of trade routes and armies and faiths for 2 millennia. My impressions of the people are they're very rugged.
They're hardworking, very hardworking, and especially the mothers in the house.
Their thirst for beauty is unquenchable. Gorgeous churches, spectacular artwork, love of music.
Very intelligent people, loving, hospitable.
With a great sense of pride. And at the same time, a tremendous sense of humility. The other thing that struck me about the people was their intense faith. I think of centuries of these people being haunted, persecuted.
But they never left their faith. Their faith in God was so strong. No matter what, certain churches which I visited, ancient, and that really touched me. Where am I standing? Am I worthy to stand in this holy place?
I think of three needs Kanewa, Catholic Near East Welfare Association, can address for the peoples and churches of Armenia and Georgia. One is care for the elderly.
We see these elderly people been working all their lives.
But because the economies in both of these countries have bottomed out since independence from the Soviet Union, you have these people who make almost no money, who are provided a state subsidy of maybe $50 a month.
The two entities in both the countries are the Caritas Georgia, Caritas Armenia. These have centers for the elderly to come in the morning.
These centers, they would have a roll and a cup of coffee in the morning and a hot meal in the afternoon. But that's not why they were there. They were there for companionship.
One of the women, she was 86. She saw and she caught my hand, started kissing my hand, and it was emotional for me. Why? She told, you just came to see me. Nobody comes here.
And the local churches there are doing incredible work on shoestring budgets. But they didn't even have enough money to provide heat for 1 month for about 500 people up in the north of Armenia. We're not talking about a lot of money. Two, I think that we can do something to care for the large number of children who now live in broken families. In order to make a living, the fathers oftentimes travel to points north to find work. They put down roots and they forget their families. It sounds horrible, but unfortunately it's the reality.
And what has happened now? These young women with children at home, they have to support them. What is the only means? They have ventured out into prostitution. And that's creating a different demon over there. I'm not there to condemn. I'm no one to condemn. But how can we help to see the tomorrow? There's a brighter tomorrow for these children.
Third thing, priests are married and have families. Catholic priests are married and have families. They have no income. They are in the middle of the muck. They're in the middle of these villages, providing everything that a priest, village leader can provide with nothing. I frankly don't know how they do it. They need assistance. They need our help.
I've been to poor countries, but this is different nature of poverty. They're great people and their hospitality, amazing. One of the houses where we went, poor houses. The older son is paralyzed due to some accident. They have a daughter, father, mother. And Out of nothing, they bring in what they have and they want to offer it to us.
They greeted us not with just bread and salt, but tremendous love and tremendous openness and a tremendous meal that I don't know how they paid for.
And that was joyful. It was amazing happiness and joy with that family. And that taught me something. If we can help these people with some resources we have, they will be self-sufficient. Show them the light and they will come up.
I found this trip transformative, and it's constantly on my mind. If the church wasn't here tackling these issues, who else would do it? And I look at these two Christian countries, the first countries to accept the faith, the Christian faith, and I see their tremendous needs, and it just renews in me a fervor to do something more. And happily, I work with Catholic Near East Welfare Association. And happily, I'm a part of a group that's charged by the Holy See to do just that. And happily, I can have this opportunity to ask you, our friends and our benefactors, to join us to do more for these people who remain the staunchest witnesses of the faith.